I am so happy. It's Mental Health Awareness Month. Oh my gosh, if you thought I was excited about Financial Awareness Month, oh my gosh, you have no idea how excited I am about Mental Health Awareness Month. This month, we are dedicated to talking about existential crisis, and more specifically, the top four existential crises that we see leaders and CEOs get into. So, thank you for joining me. I am Kanae Quarter, and I cannot wait to share all the talks that we have, all the information that we have gathered around the struggle of juggling freedom and responsibility. That is the first existential crisis that we are going to talk about today. Have you ever felt like you had to choose between enjoying life and being responsible, let's just say, right? Doing the right thing. Have you ever used any either or thinking like this? See, what we find is that existential crises are happening earlier and earlier. And the pandemic kind of triggered an existential crisis in many people. And it's happening younger and younger because it used to be that an existential crisis, or what was known as a midlife crisis, was something that happened to older white males, that they worked hard all their lives. And then one day they got to this middle of their life and they're like, what did I do with my life? They're looking back and they question their life. But that's happening at 25 now. We're having quarter life crisis. And these quarter life crises really are just existential crisis. And this is what Tame Your Brain therapy is all about. It is about juggling the existential crisis in life. And we find that there are four top. And the first one that we're going to discuss is the freedom and responsibility. So this is the fear that you won't make the right decision. It is the fear that you will go in the wrong direction. It is the fear that you'll put all your energy to work and not enough energy into playing and enjoying life. It is the fear that you'll do just the opposite. Put all your energy into enjoying life and you won't be a responsible human being. And there's this either or thinking, like either we have to be all or nothing. But what if I told you there's a place somewhere in the middle and it's just right for you? So my formula could be 40% freedom and 60% responsibility. Why? Because maybe I like feeling responsible. It makes me feel good that I am responsible for people or things or ideas. But maybe not so much for you. Maybe for you, you don't really like a lot of responsibility, and responsibility feels heavy for you. And so you probably want more freedom in your career, your personal life, all of your whole life. And maybe your formula is 60% freedom and 40% responsibility. Maybe the only thing you want to be responsible for is yourself. You don't have your purpose in life is not to cure some, threatening disease or to overcome world hunger or any of those. It's just, I just want to enjoy life. And there's nothing wrong with that. No judgment of whatever our formulas are. But society doesn't have us believe that. Society would have us believe that if we choose one or the other, that we're breaking the rules, that we are going up against what's right. And what's right is based on what you feel. So, how many times have you been maybe had too much responsibility and you kind of got that icky feeling like, oh, this is too heavy, it's too much, I don't want it? And how many times have you felt guilty for having fun? Like, oh, shouldn't I be going to do some hard work like society tells us we need to do? Well, it's time to let that go. And that's why we want to discuss it during Mental Health Awareness Month, because I know that this is part of what is stressing you out. You believe that there's one thing that you need to be. But what if I told you that there are several versions of responsibility, several versions of freedom, and that they can adjust on a daily, maybe even more often than that. But let's just go with a daily. Yet that one day, let's say if it's a Friday, honestly, I don't like to work more than 4 hours a day. How about you? On a Friday, how many hours do you like to work? I mean, just tell me. You maybe not know, but think about it now. What I find is that we all have our own formula. Some people may say, I don't want to work at all on a Friday. Friday is all about freedom. What about Sunday? Sunday, you might want, maybe you feel like, I want to get started on my week. It's the first day of the week, so to speak. I want to get started on my week, get my plan together, figure out what I want to do, and be ready. Maybe not. Maybe you're like, I'm not doing a thing on a Sunday and don't ask me. And if you do, shame on you. Maybe that's you. Doesn't matter. You just have to design it and then you articulate it. Design it, articulate it, and then you do it. Kind of spells out dad. Didn't know it would, but design it, articulate it, do it. Because you can tell people, oh, this is who I am. This is who I am. This is what I want to be. This is what I do. And then you don't show up that way, and they're not going to believe you. And what happens is, if you don't show up the way you said you wanted to show up, then people treat you the way you actually are showing up, which then creates more stress for you because then you don't have the life. Because if you said, I don't work on Sunday, I'm cool. If anybody sends me an email, you will not get a response. I'm chilling or I'm relaxing or I'm surfing, whatever you like to do, and you start answering emails on a Sunday, you're not showing up in the world. Now, they can send you emails. You can't control them. Remember, control the controllable. You don't control whether they send you an email or call you. What you do control, however, is you answering. What you do control, however, is you responding. What you do control, however, is you even reading the email. What were you doing reading the email when you said Sunday is your day off? You don't want to do anything. You want complete freedom on Sunday. Control the controllables. So let's talk about some of the external things that happen in your life that make you feel like you don't have any control over this freedom and responsibility choice. So maybe you're afraid that you'll put too much energy towards responsibility and you'll miss out on life, or your children will grow up around you. Maybe that you do it, maybe you do that, maybe you put so much responsibility on yourself because it makes you feel secure and safe. Yeah, you placed having a job really high on your list of priorities and maybe even really high on your list of like accomplishments. You've done it if you have a job. You've done it if you have responsibility. But if you don't have a job, so many times I meet people when they're in between work or in between businesses and they don't know what to do with themselves. They don't know how to have fun and just enjoy this downtime. They take that freedom and they try and turn it into responsibility. In fact, they don't even know how to describe themselves. When people say they're at an event and they say, oh, hello, I'm Kanae, I do this thing. They don't even know how to describe themselves because they don't have a title. But it doesn't even matter. Right now, I'm just enjoying life. I'm being free until the next opportunity comes to me. Oh, that was an affirmation. You should take that. You should tweet it. Okay, go with it. So good. So good. I'm just taking this time to be free until the next opportunity comes to me. Yes, whether you're the CEO or support staff, you can embrace that statement. Be okay with downtime. Downtime is a beautiful thing. Some people crave freedom. Some people crave that freedom and that downtime. And then when they get it, they don't know what to do with themselves. They're so busy trying to find more responsibility. During the pandemic, I watched so many documentaries. What did you do during the pandemic? I'm really curious. Put it in the comments. How did you spend your downtime? It was like 3 months or so. What was life like for you? Were you worried? And for some people, the pandemic is not over. I get it. For some people, it is. And if it's not over for you, talk to me. What was happening? What is happening for you? Sometimes freedom seems like a dream. Like, oh, that's for those other people who don't have a life or don't have people counting on them. Yeah, that's a fantasy to think you're going to have some freedom. Is that you? Are you thinking that way? Maybe you think choosing freedom is happiness. Oh, finally, and one day in the future, I'm going to get to be happy and have some freedom. Do you see it like that? Hmm. Maybe you feel like it's going to be too late. Like if I wait too long, I'll never be free. And this kinds of thinking is happening earlier and earlier. People are leaving jobs. This is a bit this existential crisis is a big part of the um, great resignation. Many people feel like their employer didn't care about them. So, as a CEO, you have to know that every single employee that you have wakes up in the morning to see your vision come to life. What are you going to do to make them feel like that is a good idea? And what are you going to do to make them see their own vision in your vision? Because that's what it takes for them to feel like it's okay to take on the responsibility of your vision. Your vision has to come with a very unique combination of them serving your vision and serving their vision at the same time. And if you're feeling like somebody else's vision is too much responsibility for you, you're going to choose freedom. And a lot of times you swing all the way to the other side of the pendulum, which is why you hear about people quitting their job to do whatever, sometimes nothing. They don't even have another plan. They're just quitting. This great resignation. Some people have two jobs right now because they're working mobily and there's no oversight and nobody knows that they have two jobs. I know people who have two full-time jobs because they like responsibility and they love money. So they're doing what they need to do, what they think they need to do in order to get the certain amount of money that they want in their lives. But that means they bring on more responsibility. So how do you choose? How do you juggle? First of all, I want you to think about this as your field work. What does freedom look like? You've got to be able to describe that freedom. What does it look like for you? Is it just relaxing on the couch? Is it taking a trip? Is it surfing and or doing some other hobby that you have? What does freedom look like? Think about it. You can put that answer in the comments or you can just hold it inside. Journal about it. Really get it out. You've got to know what it looks like. And then after you know what it looks like, you need to know what it feels like. And that's the second part of your field work. I didn't put it there, but know what it looks like, describe it, and then know what it feels like. And once you do that, well, this is not something you can do on your own. When designed properly, when you're working with a Tame Your Brain therapist, then you will adjust and go from where you are right now, whatever formula you have of freedom and responsibility, to the formula you really want. Once you get really clear on the formula you really want in your life, and again, remember that could change from day to day. You can say during the month of May, I just want to have fun. It's amazing. May. May is amazing. And I just want to have some fun in my life during the month of May. And then I'll go back to work in June or whatever. My grandparents, they took the month. My grandfather was a teacher and he had two full-time jobs. And he was a teacher and a supervisor at the post office. So he never took days off at the post office. He never took days off as a school teacher because as a school teacher, he had the summers off, June and July, or actually in Chicago it was July and August. So July and August, he was off. So he would save up all his days off from the post office to make sure that he could take them all in one lump sum by the time I was born. And he would have the a month off of both of his jobs, and he would spend it with us grandkids. And that was his idea of freedom. So during the year, he didn't need those extra days off. He didn't take his paid time off, if they even had that back then, but he didn't take those days. He just stored them up. And that was his idea. You've got to figure that out for yourself. And it may take time. So don't rush it. You try something, you see how it feels in your body. Really feel that feeling. And when it feels right, then do that again and again and again. And this is true whether you're the CEO or the support staff or the leadership. But let me talk directly to the CEO for now, right now. Don't you feel guilty for taking a day off? You built this. You are the center and you've got to be at your best. So, whatever it takes for you to get at your best and feel that freedom as a CEO, you go do it because you are responsible for all these people. And in order to be responsible, you've got to feel free. So go find your freedom, whether it's 2 days off or 3 days off, and you just articulate it and let them know. And then you do it again and again, and you show them. You show them what freedom looks like. And then you allow them to have it in their lives. And then you let them do it again and again and again. How does that sound? How does that feel? Feel that with me? It's Mental Health Awareness Month. Do you understand how important this month is? Become aware of the stress that you are causing yourself. I know you think it's other people causing the stress, but I'm going to show you over the next 30 days how it could be you causing stress in your life by having to juggle things like freedom and responsibility. And I'm going to show you how to design a life full of freedom and just the right amount of responsibility and a few other existential crises that I know you're going through. I look forward to our time together. So I will see you next week and the week after that and the week after that and the week after that. Okay. Remember, subscribe to this channel wherever you're watching this video and get notifications and follow us so that we can continue to pour into you. See you soon.